Golden State Media Concepts social media podcast. Time to hashtag everything. We talk about all the fun, crazy stories on social media. From Instagram to Facebook, Twitter to Tumblr, or probably even Friendster. Join us each week as we explore the quirky side of social media. It's the Golden State Media Concepts social media podcast.
It's simple, such a sad song. The one that we rely on to get us.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Heidi, and unfortunately I am not joined by the wonderful Ariane, but it is okay. We will continue. I will still bring you your wonderful social media news. So, I am bringing you the first story, which is a little shocking. I read this, and to be honest, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's as bad as the internet is kind of making it sound. Like, I think information could have been misconstrued, but I don't know. You all can listen to the story and then let me know. The internet didn't like it. I think it's not great, but I don't think it's terrible either. Anyway, Twitter users were shocked because a mom posted on Instagram about her son. So, an Atlanta mother, lifestyle blogger Katie Bauer, is under fire on social media because she complained on Instagram with a post, and the post featured like a picture of her son, and she was complaining because her son didn't get as many likes as the other images and other posts about her other children, which is weird. I mean, the internet's weird, Instagram is weird, social media is weird, but this is also weird. So the specific post featured a picture of her 6-year-old son, Weston. And she has since archived the post, but because it's the internet, someone just took a screenshot, so it still exists. Nothing is ever really gone from the internet. Anyway, so she began her post by praising her son Weston's unique personality, his sweet-hearted nature, but then she changes her tone a little bit, and she becomes really blunt. A quote from this is, "Guys, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Instagram never liked my munchkin, and it killed me inside. His photos never got as many likes, never got comments. From a statistical point of view, he wasn't as popular with everyone out there." Now, when she's saying munchkin, she's referring to her son, Weston. And this is weird. It's weird because she's just complaining that statistically he's not as liked as she wants. I don't think the sentiment there is that bad. Just going off of like, oh, he's not getting as many likes. I think it's weird to post it on the internet, but I'm a pretty private person and I don't post a lot on social media. So that's probably why I think that. But she was upset about this, and other people thought it was strange. Anyway, the post continues, and Bauer speculated that the photos of her son Weston, just never really hit the algorithm right. And she continues, "Part might be because he was the baby," in quotes. He was the baby for a very short amount of time before LJ came along, and then Max, and then Ella, and people like babies. I say all that because I want to believe that it wasn't him, that it was on me. My insufficiency caused this statistical deficit because obviously my munch should get all the love, and squinty eyes are totally adorable. So can we do this right? Because I know truly that my munch deserves all the likes, whether or not a stranger gives it to them. And on his 6th birthday, I am thankful that I know that no matter what other people think of me, or my kids, or my marriage, or my house, or my life, or my everything, that they are like 1 million times better in real life than any tiny little picture could hold. And then she says, P.S. I wanted to clarify that I revealed this feeling because I know one day he will see the numbers and have to learn that his value is not in online approval. This is a hard lesson for anyone to learn, and I am thankful I have learned it. I hope you all can be understanding and not take things out of context or believe that this in any way affects how I see or treat my children. All comments and well wishes I read to the birthday boy. So, okay, let's start with this. So Katie Bauer is writing this on her son's birthday. It's next to a picture of him. The reason she said squinty eyes is because when he smiles in the picture, his eyes get kind of squinty, you know, like he smiles with his eyes, and it is very cute. I saw the screenshot of this post, and her son is very adorable. But she's saying that he maybe didn't get as many likes because he's not, he was like her firstborn, it sounds like, and he wasn't a baby for very long before other children of hers were born, and then they were the babies, and babies just get more likes on Instagram. And but she says like, oh, he deserves all the love, and like anyone who gives it to him, like basically talking about anyone who gives him likes on Instagram. And she's just like thankful that like everyone in her life is way better. And she's also saying that like she wants to clarify that she says this because she knows that one day her son will see the numbers and have to learn that his value is not in online approval. I would not count on the fact that your son is going to see the numbers of people who like his stuff on Instagram. Like, I'm not looking at my mom's social media to be like, how many pictures of me, like how many likes do they have? I just think that's like assuming that her son will also be like social media obsessed, which I feel like is not necessarily true. Also, I feel like she clearly seems really obsessed with social media, and I think that's unhealthy. So I don't think he cares, and he shouldn't care. Like a child shouldn't care about that. And I'm concerned that she's going to like instill that in her kids. And I just think that's weird. Anyway, Twitter users really thought that her priorities were a bit off. Katie Bowers, the mom who posted this. But later, Bauer said to the HuffPost that she only mentioned the numbers because she was saying what she was thankful for. And she said, Weston was the reason we got on Instagram. We did birth updates. And at that time, it was my first real public social media platform. And she said this in an email. She said, I did find myself caring about the approval and likes over the past 6 years. I have found that my worth is not in those numbers, and I'm thankful for that personal growth. I don't know. I think it's a little weird. I think she's kind of just talking about her kid, and like, she just like is sad that he's not getting likes because it kind of sounds like she wants the likes, like the likes mean something to her, because her kid is like 6. He doesn't care. He doesn't know. And she's reading him all of the positive comments that come. I think that's just like raising your kid in a social media spotlight and like using them kind of. I mean, I'm not saying she's a bad person, and it sounds like she's had a lot of personal growth regarding Instagram like approval, like social media approval. But I think she's still a bit on that edge there. And I hope that her kids don't feel that way. And also she wants to say that because I want to believe that it wasn't him, that it was because of, it was on me. So does that mean at some point she thought that it was on him, that there was like something wrong with him and that's why he wasn't getting a lot of likes? That's not good. That's really unhealthy. I hope that she doesn't think that anymore. It sounds like she doesn't think that, so good on her. Yeah, I don't know. I understand how people on Twitter thought this was strange, and how people thought this was just like her, I don't know, caring about only likes and online popularity. I hope that Katie doesn't feel that anymore. Anyway, I want to move on to another story, and this also has to do with Instagram. And this is because Instagram has added a new option on their update. So if you update their app, they now have an option to share stories only with close friends. And this enables users to create a special group of friends, which will then appear as a sharing option when you go to send your stories. You can see the close friends group icon at the bottom of the final like frame when you go to like share stories on Instagram. This means that you no longer have to share all of your stories with everybody. It can just be like close friends. So like you make a group of people that you consider close friends in air quotes. I guess that could be any type of group. Like you decide you only want to share certain things with coworkers or something like that. You could just put all your coworkers into this group. And then when you go to share stories, you can share it only with like that group of people. So as opposed to just like sharing it with everybody, you know? So that's interesting. Instagram has said only you can see your close friends list and no one can request to be added, so you can feel comfortable adjusting it at any time. When you share to stories, you'll see the option to share with just the people on your close friends list. If someone has added you to their list, you will see a green badge when you're viewing their stories. You'll also see a green ring around their profile photo in the stories tray. Interesting, Instagram. Also, the option to share like just close friends is really like reflective of a broader social media trend, which is like a trend towards private sharing, which I find very strange. I'm like, isn't that just like texting? Isn't that what like we did before? And then we got social media. Now you're just trying to make social media basically texting again. We already have that, but okay. So the top messaging apps right now have more users than the top social media networks, and an increasing amount of engagement is now occurring via messages and within like private groups. So like in Facebook, you have the Facebook Messenger part of Facebook, or on Instagram, you have like DMs, and that's where a lot of the engagement is happening on social media apps, is through the messaging. And that's kind of why Facebook is trying to work to find ways to monetize Messenger and WhatsApp, which concerns me because I do use Messenger a lot and I don't want them to monetize it. Also, social media has evolved because people become more aware of the potential negative aspects of sharing everything with everybody online. So most have tried to like pull back. Also, on Instagram specifically, private sharing has been steadily on the rise. Around half of all Instagram users now also use the platform's messaging options, while previous reports have shown that 85% of the messages shared on the platform are distributed to the same 3 friends. So they're kind of saying you already have a group of close friends that you message with. It's just like trying to make those people able to see, like just those people able to see your stories. And they're also saying that now you can separate your audiences so you can feel freer to share more things because you can decide who sees it. From a marketing perspective, the addition could provide value by giving brands a way to share their posts with specific lists of users based on like content relevance. So like promotions with special audiences, or maybe even exclusive groups and offers, if the tool does become available for businesses. So right now businesses are waiting on confirmation of that, but it's like if you use a brand like Target all the time, they're saying that if you also follow Target on Instagram, I don't even know if they have an Instagram, but they probably do. But if you do, then they can realize, oh, you go on our page all the time. You shop at Target all the time. We'll make you a close friend. So then we'll share certain things with you on our stories, maybe like coupons that only as you and a certain other people who are really heavy users and like shoppers at Target can see. So I think that's interesting. I don't know. It's like, I don't want ads to target me that way. And I'm not really sure. I don't use Snapchat. I don't share things like that to personal groups. That seems a little odd. Also, I could just text people things. Like I could just text videos. I guess clearly people just prefer using Instagram more than like traditional texting or messaging. But whatever. Also, it's interesting that if someone adds you to like their list, you can see that when you view their stories. That's weird. I guess like you're still not able to see, like people still aren't able to see who's on your list. Like other random people can't see, but if you're in that list, you can see that you're in the special close friends list. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I don't know. I don't really want it, to be honest. I probably won't use it. I don't think it's for me. Anyway, also, if you're really into social media, if you're really into Instagram, and you're just Instagramming and like posting all the time, something that you might be interested in is like posting about all the things that you're reading right now. And if you want to get into reading and be able to listen to more stories, to be able to talk about them more on social media, you might be interested in Audible, because you're probably busy all the time, you're probably on the go all the time, but you'll probably also have your phone with you. So if you want to be able to get in more books, you can get them now on Audible so you can listen to them. For now, there is a limited time offer where you can get 3 months of Audible for just $6.95 a month, which is more than half off the regular price. You can give yourself the gift of listening and give it to anyone else on your list. To get this offer, you go to audible.com/GSMC social, or you can text GSMC social to 500-500. GSMC Social is one word. And again, that is audible.com/GSMC Social, or you can text GSMC Social to 500-500. We are going to take a quick break and then we'll come right back.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome back to the GSMC Social Media Podcast. We are continuing to talk about some social media news stories. The next one that I want to bring up is one that I read online that was really interesting, mostly because I read the accompanying article that came first. So, there is an article that came out, and it was talking about French fries. And it was kind of saying you don't really want to eat them. You shouldn't eat them. They're not good for you. There is particularly a professor, Dr. Eric Rim, who teaches in the Department of Epidemiology and Nutrition at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. And he claims to love French fries, but he contributed to this health article about you really shouldn't eat French fries, you shouldn't eat a lot. And he has received tons of negative feedback on social media about this article and about his comments in it. There was a New York Times article, and it was titled, "You Don't Want Fries with That." And in the article, Rim, who they said is an expert voice in this, he argued that the ideal serving of French fries is only 6, like with a side salad. So if you're having like a burger, as opposed to just getting a normal side of fries, they're saying you should maybe instead get like 6 fries and a salad just to like fill yourself up. The Twitter backlash was vicious. If you know her, I'm sure you'll love her. Top Chef host Padma Padma Lakshma said, "I don't have time for this kind of negativity in my life right now." I love that. That's so great. And he's received lots of comments on social media. People have hated this because they're like, "Are you crazy? 6 fries?" I mean, I kind of agree. That's kind of crazy. But when I read this new updated article, Rim, even though he's on a business trip, he said that he noticed all of the negative feedback, and he wrote in an email to Vanity Fair, he said, "Am I really a monster? A lot of tweeters in the UK and the US act like I just called a third world war." Oh no. I find that the health article was really interesting. But I have to note, I read the New York Times article about how you shouldn't eat French fries, and it just made me want to eat French fries because they just kept talking about them. And I was like, man, fries do sound really good right now. I should probably just eat some. So then I bought like a bag of frozen fries to put in the oven. And then I ate them and I was like, yep, that was super satisfying. Glad I did that. And then I read the second article about how Eric Rim was all like, oh, now people hate me and think I'm a monster. I then read that article and was like, man, now I want fries again. So then I went back to the fries that I had bought that were frozen and just heated up more and ate them. So I did not follow Eric's rule of 6 fries. And it just made me eat more fries. So if you're upset that he posted that or he wrote that and advised you to only eat 6 fries with your burger, just like don't listen to it. I mean, if the idea that fries are bad for you is new information, I think you should consider where you're getting your information, because fries are not good for you. I'm sorry, they're just not. So, and like also the article from New York Times, like Americans eat so many fries. It's insane. I had no idea. That's why I really do think as a country we should generally consider cutting down. Also, sometimes you can get like a giant basket of fries, just like for your table. I don't think that's very good for you. However, I will say there is all of this like hate on the internet for Rim. It has not made him back down. He's still he calls fries starch bombs, And he just says, yeah, you shouldn't eat them. You should only eat 6. I can't complain about that. I kind of have to agree that you should eat less. Maybe not 6, though, because I can't. I mean, I still eat them, but occasionally. Anyway, also Rim says that all he wants is he just wants the option of smaller, like, amounts of fries. And regardless of whether you can limit yourself to 6, he says it's better if we just had smaller portions. He's suggesting that restaurants could just give smaller portions of fries for those of us who might need a taste but don't need a whole basket. And he also said, he's quoted, "For goodness sakes, a large order of McDonald's French fries has 150 kcals. It's almost 4 12-ounce Cokes. How's your stomach feel now?" So if you're so that's like, I don't think I said that right, kcals. I apologize. But that's like the calories that are in fries. That's almost a 4-ounce Coke. That's almost, sorry. I'm sorry. If you eat the large order of McDonald's fries, that's almost 4 12-ounce Cokes. So if you look at a 12-ounce amount of Coca-Cola, if you're eating a large order of McDonald's fries, that is 4 of those drinks. That's not good for you. It's really not. And again, these are like, it's not like it's new information to me that fries are bad for you. I am aware of that. I am just very depressed by it. And, smaller portions, or just don't eat fries as often. Like I personally think if you're eating fries once a week, that's probably too much. I'm just going to put that out there. People will now hate me, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to power through. Anyway, I have another story that I want to share with you all that I saw on social media. This is crazy. I don't know. Part of me thinks this should have been on the Weird News podcast, but there is a woman, Danny Hawley, who's 25, and she allegedly hit several cars on the Interstate 270, which is near Rockville, Maryland, and she attempted to flee the scene after hitting several cars. Again, this is alleged, but I mean, it happened. And while this happened, she wanted to flee the scene, but then Montgomery County officer Christopher Jordan, who was an off-duty officer at the time, he witnessed the wreck. He approached Holly, and he told her that he was an officer, but then Holly accelerated and towards the officer, and then she hit him basically, and he got stuck on the hood of her car. And then while he's on the hood of her car, the officer, Christopher Jordan, had called authorities, and he told them what was going on while on the hood of her car. Then Holly drove about a mile at 80 miles per hour down the interstate with the officer on her car. That's insane. So he's saying to Holly, "I'm an off-duty officer. You need to don't leave. You're in trouble." Then she just hits him. He gets stuck on the hood of the car. He's on the phone with officers to tell them what happened. And then she just keeps driving. Like what were you thinking? I don't understand what good could come of that. Either you kill him or you just take him with you. I don't understand how any of that is anything that she wanted. I also feel like she hit him, her intention was to harm him. Very obviously. I don't think she's trying to just take him to a new location. I'm pretty sure she intended to hurt him, maybe even kill him. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. Anyway, while she was driving with the officer on her hood, again, 80 miles per hour, after about a mile, the officer was able to safely roll off her vehicle. And then Holly was arrested just a few minutes later. She was charged with attempted manslaughter and 2 counts of assault and reckless endangerment. Holly, what were you thinking? I don't know. This is obviously not good. I don't have anything to say except why? Okay, so I saw this online, and there were obviously a lot of comments that were negative about Holly. I agree that it was bad. I don't think she she should definitely be charged. I don't know what she was thinking. I don't think she deserves mass amounts of hate and threats online, but I'm seriously questioning what her intent was. Her intent was nothing but to hurt that officer. I don't know. I can't see anything else besides that, to be very honest. And that officer is very brave for even trying to stop her. I mean, he didn't know she was going to hit him, but she hit several cars allegedly. So I still think that's extremely brave. So hats off to you, sir. I don't know. I'm just impressed. Anyway, I think that's a very harrowing story. And if you want to hear more brave stories about other people in fiction or perhaps a nonfiction tale, you will probably like reading about them. And if you like reading about them, but you don't have a bunch of time to read, you're always on the go or in your car or at work all the time, you might be interested in Audible. And if you are interested in Audible, you can get a limited time offer for you can get 3 months of Audible for just $6.95 a month, which is half off the regular price. You can give yourself the gift of listening, give this gift to anyone on your list for Christmas or any of the holidays around this time. And if you're interested in this offer, you can go to audible.com/GSMC social, or you can text GSMC social to 500-500. GSMC social is one word. And again, that information is audible.com/GSMC social, or you can text GSMC social to 500-500. And this is a great gift. I think this deal is wonderful. Again, a limited time offer. So we are going to take another break, and then we will be right back and finish up talking about social media.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast. We are continuing our episode, and I just want to bring a story that I saw online that is really interesting. And this is about a Spanish man who built a 60-foot spaceship just for himself, and he built it so that he could visit a planet that he himself has written about in his own novels. This is kind of weird. So, the spaceship was created by Lucio Ballesteros, who is an 87-year-old writer, musician, and parent YouTuber. He is from Monteoida, Spain. Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone, if I said that wrong. The spaceship measures about 60 feet in diameter, and it weighs nearly 2,600 pounds. It has also captured not just the attention of people online, but also the attention of documentary filmmaker Zoel Mendez, who is making a film about Lucio and his work. Also, Lucio estimates that he has spent more than 100,000 euros, which is roughly $113,752.70. That's just what the internet told me when I translated it. And he is building this spaceship out of aluminum and methacrylate, which is like a material that is used in the production of like other plastics. So he's kind of like building it out of like aluminum in this like plasticky type material. And he said that the craft will not be operational until he installs motors, but he doesn't imagine it will be used until sometime in the far future. He told the Spanish newspaper that humanity will have to evolve physically and spiritually before people can figure out how the technology that powers the craft works. Also, Lucio hopes the ship will be used to travel to 10-7, or 10/7, I'm sorry, to travel to the 10-7 planet that comes from a series of novels that he wrote himself. He has described the planet inhabitants as beings very similar to human beings, but with higher stature. He has explained that the planet's name, 10/7, he said that the number 10 represents the unity of God, while 7 represents the 7 dimensions of the human being. So if you've seen this story online about a man who built a spaceship so that people could visit his own planet, it's really interesting. Again, it's interesting that he says people will not be ready to use it. Like, we have not evolved yet to that point. That's interesting. I don't know what to tell him about that. I guess. I mean, sure. I don't know. I'd be interested to see if it ever works, but apparently we won't be able to understand the technology. So, all right, Lucia, that's cool. Just cut the rest of us out. All right. Well, maybe our future children will be reading about this story online sometime in the future, if we even have online, if we even read anymore. I don't know. Anyway, I just want to say thank you all so much for listening to the Social Media Podcast, and I hope that you tune in next time.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Social Media Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.